All right. So very good evening, and thank you again for joining this Meaningful Monday webinar. I'm really very happy and grateful to be with all of you here tonight. So I just want to say thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. And this is on the first Monday of every month, and it's an open webinar. So on this webinar, I've got some people who have done my Silva method training. So they're Silva grads. So very welcome, warm welcome to those that are my Silva grads. There's Dave here tonight. There's Ben, which is really great. Whoops, sorry. And then to the new people, a very warm welcome. Thank you so much for joining. And I do hope you get some value out of this tonight so that you'll join again. And then to the people who've just come back, so nice to have you back again. Celeste and Laura, you were here last time, weren't you?
Yes.
Okay, great. Let me just put my volume up. Okay. All right, so just that you understand the purpose of Meaningful Mondays, the main focus is to help create the life of your own design. So when we say help you create the life of your own design, what we really mean is, you know, thinking about that, it's basically the foundation that we first need to acknowledge that we actually do create our own reality. We do create our own life. So we're not victims in this world. We are powerful, powerful creators. And the way that we create our experience is with our thoughts and with our feelings. So if that's new to anyone, drop me a note and I'll guide you to some videos, audios that might open your awareness, just to make sure that everyone is definitely 100% in the knowing that we create our own realities. So tonight we're going to talk a bit about that. Tonight we're going to talk about one of the universal laws called the law of correspondence. Now, most of us have heard the old adage, which is that our outer world is nothing more than a reflection of our inner world. In other words, so within, so without, or as above, as below, or as below, as above, whichever way you want to look at it. So in whichever way you look at it, basically this is a universal law, and the law of correspondence is very similar or can be deemed the same, in fact, as the law of cause and effect. So this is quite important because our experience in life is all determined and created by this law of correspondence. So what the law of correspondence really says basically is that our current reality is a mirror of what's going on inside of us. So our reality is a result of our innermost dominant thoughts. So you're going to hear me talk about thoughts this whole little presentation through. I'm going to repeat thoughts over and over again, and I'm doing that deliberately, hoping that for most of you, it will just really raise your awareness as to the catalyst or the initiator or the source of everything that we experience comes from our thoughts, because people don't always remember that, and they sometimes don't always view the world that way. But if we can really get that in our head, that everything stems from our thoughts, we can become very, very intentional and deliberate in creating the life that we want for ourselves. So when it says all come down to our thoughts, if you just look at these two images there, you can imagine that guy in the fields, the power of positive thinking, what kind of emotion he's feeling, what kind of joy he's exuding. And then the other picture on the right-hand side of, I don't know, despair or giving up or just exhausted or stressed, whatever it want to be. So really in our lives, at some point, we've been the guy on the left, and at other points, we've been the guy on the right. The thing that I want to emphasize is that these results and the experiences that we're having really do all come down to our thoughts. So the cascade in which we create the results in our life are basically, thoughts are like a light switch. Okay, so the minute you have a thought, the brain sends a neuro impulse, like an electrical impulse. The minute that thought is fired, it changes the brain. So every thought, there's something changing in the brain. And that change is like a light switch. What happens with a thought? It instantaneously causes an emotional response, which is a feeling. And when that happens, and then we have a feeling, if you have a positive feeling or a negative feeling as a result of a thought, you either release a couple of stress chemicals in the body, or you have other chemicals being released which make you feel good, dissolve stress chemicals, enhance your immune system. So even though we think thoughts are just as, I don't know, a passive thing or a non-consequential thing, they're very, very, very powerful. Because as they create those feelings, they actually change our physiology. Now, when we have repeated thoughts, we keep thinking the same idea about certain things, certain views of certain things repeatedly. Over time, those become our attitudes. And the longer we think those thoughts with those attitudes, that's how we develop beliefs. So belief is nothing more than a thought that we repeat over and over. Now, it's actually been said that we think approximately 90% of the same thoughts we thought yesterday. And so it goes. So we keep generally thinking the same thoughts. So when we know this, we understand that then our beliefs, which are in our subconscious mind, so we might not even be consciously aware that we have certain beliefs, but these are determining our behaviors, how we respond to people, how we respond to phone calls, when someone speaks to us, when an opportunity passes our desk, when you're driving around, or when you meet people, whatever's going on, however we behave is a result of our beliefs and our attitudes, and our behaviors determine our results. So in life, when we look at the results in our life, if we want different results in some areas, people generally want to start changing their behaviors. Okay, so let's just, as an example, someone who maybe wants to be fitter or healthier, or let's say reduce their weight by 5 kilos, they start to adopt behaviors. They go straight to behaviors for change. I'm here to ask you to have an open mind and to try to develop a habitual response when you want different results, is to go right back to the source and go back to thoughts. Become more aware of your thoughts than judging this good behavior or bad behavior. Because your behavior is an automatic consequence of beliefs that you hold, which come from repeated attitudes, repeated feelings, which ultimately come from thoughts. So it all starts and ends with our thoughts. And if you look at that picture of that girl being a bit despondent, let's just say I'm going to talk about negative thoughts tonight more than positive. And the only reason is when people want change in their life for the better, this is what we've got to be discussing, unfortunately, the negative side. I will touch on the positive side because that's also very important when we have good results to be aware that we've also created those. But just for now, if you think about areas of your life and you think about health, career, happiness, love, financial things, money, spirituality, relationships, purpose, any of those things, if you want different results in any area of your life, then you got to have different thoughts about it. So when we look at negative thoughts in this example, there's a danger in holding negative thoughts, because ultimately negative thoughts become what I call a self-perpetuating situation. And when I say self-perpetuating, what I mean is what it says there: when we start to feel bad on the inside, our perception, the way we view the world, it starts to look bad. So when we have negative feelings, these negative feelings actually change our perception. They actually create a filter in which we view the world. So here's an example. 2 people look at the world and the one will say, oh, in Sydney right now, good jobs are hard to come by. Someone else will say, oh, here in Sydney today, there are lots of good jobs out there. Well, who's right and who's wrong? Neither of them. It's a perception. is really not that much fact, it's more perception. So when we start to feel bad from a negative thought, our perceptions change, and then what happens, we create more of a bad situation. So the worse our outer world becomes, and the worse our outer world becomes, the worse we feel on the inside. And that's what I say, it's a self-perpetuating cycle. So it's like people who are obese say, I eat because I'm unhappy. And then they also say, I'm unhappy because I eat. In other words, they feel bad when they overeat. So that's a self-perpetuating cycle. And all of this ends up having a direct result in our reality. So I just want to open the conversation to all of you. I'm going to unmute your lines and just ask you, to share with me, does anyone have an example of a negative thought that they had today, even if it's more than one? Give me an example. And there's no witch hunt here, so there's no right or wrong. Anything goes. Just try and get some self-awareness and think of any negative thought that you had today.
I had a negative thought about my body today.
Is that clear?
I was trying on, yes it is, sorry.
Okay.
I was trying on some clothes in a shop that didn't fit properly and I felt very bad about it. And then I started paying attention to the parts of myself that I don't like.
Wow, thank you for sharing. That's a wonderful example. And thanks for being so transparent with all of us. I appreciate that. Anyone else had a negative thought?
Isabella has something to share.
Yes, Isabella, welcome. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. I'm so happy that you're with us again tonight.
I had a negative thought this morning in math when I was at school. I was having trouble with the question and I kept on just thinking, should I go ask my teacher? I ended up asking him and he said, I can't do much for you because it was an answer for a test and I couldn't figure it out.
So what was your negative thought?
I can't do this.
Ah, very good self-awareness. That's a great example. Thank you for sharing. What about you, Ben?
I'm thinking about one. I try to catch them if I can, and just as a dissolvers graduate, just cancel them immediately.
You what?
Just say cancel them.
Oh, to cancel them. So do you have
Yes.
an example of a negative thought?
Not for today, no. I generally program my mind for good health. What's it?
Okay.
Like this morning, I got up and went for a walk, and all, I'm just thinking, yeah, my body is getting stronger and healthier. So.
Excellent. That's an example of a positive thought. Wonderful. Fantastic. I saw Anne-Marie. Anne-Marie, have you just joined?
No, I've joined for a while. Sorry, I was a bit late. No connection on my phone.
Okay. Excellent. So do you have an example of a negative thought that you had today?
I'm the queen of negative thoughts, so that's why I'm on your call. So it generally or regularly, my thoughts are about my memory or my ability to remember things that people have told me.
Right. Okay. Great example. Okay. Does anyone else have a negative thought that they want to share that they had today? 3, 2, 1. Welcome, Sandra. Can you hear us, Sandra? No? Sandra, if you can't hear us, just dial back out and dial back in and tell your computer to accept computer audio. I'm not too sure if you can hear us. Okay, so keep going forward. So as you can understand with negative thoughts, it can be a self-downward spiral, and we also knock ourselves down and we then have a worse feeling, and then we have a worse situation, and it creates a worse world, so we start to feel bad again and it keeps going on. So it really all does start with our thoughts. So moving on from that, I decided to have a look at successful people's behaviors, not thoughts now, behaviors, and unsuccessful people's behaviors. And I wanted to ask anyone here, and let's just go as quickly as we can so we don't spend too much time and run late. Just shout out, just go for it, don't hold back. Give me some behaviors of a positive or negative person.
Positive attitude.
Positive attitude, brilliant. What else? When I'm asking for actual physical behaviors in the outside world, I'm trying to move a bit away from thoughts, what goes on in the head, into actually what we're doing in the world outside, how we behaving. This is a behavior awareness.
Well, successful people are more proactive.
Brilliant, absolutely, yes. What else?
Focused.
What is that?
Successful people are usually display more focused behaviors.
More focused, yes, definitely.
Plan.
Brilliant. Plan, yep, that's on the list.
Prioritize.
Prioritize, absolutely, yes, brilliant.
We need to have a go.
Yes, like just take action. Yep. What else?
Learn from mistakes.
Wow, I love that. Excellent. But Ben, well done. What else?
Repeating
They're
behaviors.
more confident.
Sorry.
Okay, go Anne-Marie. Anne-Marie?
So repeating behaviors you know didn't work before.
Brilliant. Excellent. And then who else spoke there? Was it Claire?
Yes. Successful people are more confident.
More confident, definitely. Any others?
Yes, they're more self-aware, so they know themselves. They know their
I love what you
strengths, their
just said.
weaknesses.
Yeah, I actually just want to stop on what you said, Ben. I haven't actually got that in this presentation, but the ultimate goal of Meaningful Mondays as a whole, or anything that we do, is to raise our self-awareness. As we raise our self-awareness, we start to chip away at all the things that stand in our way and hold us back, limiting beliefs, negative thought patterns, negative self-sabotaging behaviors. So here's a list that I want to put there. Some of these you mentioned, some you haven't mentioned. I'm going to just rattle off a couple very quickly. Successful people, for example, talk about ideas. Unsuccessful people talk about people. Successful people compliment. Unsuccessful people complain or criticize. Don't worry, Sandra. That's okay that you're late. No worries. As long as you can hear us, that's great. Successful people forgive. Unsuccessful people hold grudges. Successful people learn. They constantly want to learn. Whereas unsuccessful people are know-it-alls and they think they don't have to learn. And they get what I call destination disease. This is a massive one. Successful people accept responsibility. Whereas unsuccessful people blame others. When things go wrong, they blame others. Successful people have a sense of gratitude as opposed to a sense of entitlement, like the world owes them. We mentioned goals. It also refers to budgets and saving. Unsuccessful people never budget, they never save. Give credit to others for their victories is a sign of successful people, whereas unsuccessful people take all the credit, not only for their victories, but even their team. If their team succeeds, they try and take the credit. Sharing information is another sign, and that also comes from confidence. Claire, you spoke about confidence. Confident people share. You'll find that unconfident people generally hoard information because it's from a base of fear. They also, successful people have a to-be list. They actually have, doesn't have to be a list, but they have an idea in their mind of who they want to become. Become a person of greater value, become a grander version of themselves. Whereas unsuccessful people don't know what they want to be. And then the last one, the last two might sound a bit confusing. Successful people set goals. Unsuccessful people never set goals. Then below that it says, successful people have a growth mindset And now I'm saying that unsuccessful people have a gold mindset. So if they don't set goals, how do they have a goal mindset? The difference is successful people have goals, but the reason they have the goals is not as much for just getting the goal. It's because who they become to achieve that goal is a person of greater value. So they focus on personal growth, and that never ends. If you only focus on goals and you achieve them, then you might say, well, there's nothing left for me to do. What am I going to do with the rest of my life? Often people who retire have got less goals and they become older faster and not as happy. So if we stay with a growth mindset, we keep growing in life no matter what goals we have. So the reason I put this up is because these are not thoughts now. These are behaviors. But the point I want to make is all these behaviors are a direct result of thoughts. So I keep banging on the same drum. It's all about thoughts, thoughts, thoughts. So when we have negative thoughts and that self-perpetuating spiral, the only way that we can escape the negative self-perpetuating treadmill is to shift our paradigm. It means we have to shift starting with thoughts. And the more we're repeatedly aware of our thoughts that we change, our attitudes will change, and so will our beliefs. And now's a good time to talk about positive outcomes. So I've spoken up to now about negative outcomes. It's just as important when things go right in our life and we get, wow, exactly what we want. And we go, yes, this is working for me. This is a great thing. What a great coincidence. What a great synchronicity. Oh, wow, this thing happened. It turned out the right way. I want you to be just as aware. That's feedback for you. That's feedback about positive thoughts you are having, which led to positive attitudes, beliefs, and expectations. So whether it's negative or whether it's positive, everything is feedback about the law of correspondence. What's going on in the inside world is a result of what's going on in the outside world. So just very quickly here, when it comes to changing our paradigm for the better, or when we look at the world and we want things to be better in our life, at work, with our relationships, with our money, with our health, the truth is we've got to do what Michael Jackson says. It starts with a man in the mirror. It starts with ourselves. I love these words from the song Man in the Mirror, especially where it says, no message could have been any clearer. If you want to make the world a better place, look at yourself and make that change. So even if we kick this up a notch and not just looked at the results in our own life, but looked at the bigger picture and said, you know, I wish the world had less war or less famine, less violence, less sadness. Even then, it's got to start with ourselves. Everything got to start within. The way we think, the way we feel, will then change the way we behave in the outside world. Here's a quote by Bob Proctor. It says, when we change the way we think, we change our lives. And this sounds so big. It sounds so, wow, that's an overstatement. But it's not an overstatement. It's the absolute truth. If we could change the way we think, we can literally change our lives. And what most people, he says here, do not understand is how powerful our thinking is and even how involved it is in our health. That's so important. And a great way to know what kind of thinking do you have, Earl Nightingale says, just ask the question, how is life treating you? If you answer the question, how is life treating you, whatever your answer is, that is now the mirror. That's the reflection of what's going on in your internal world with your thoughts and with your feelings. Now, there may be many, many things in our life that we don't have complete control over. But the one thing we have total and complete control over is our thinking. Nobody can control our thoughts. And this is where the power of creating our own reality lies, is that we are in charge of our thinking. So the only way to get what we truly desire in life is to change our thought patterns. So how can we do that? Here's some steps for you. Here's what we can do next. I'm going to give you 3 tips here. So if you're making notes, you may want to write these down. The first step if you want different results, if you're not happy with any area of your life you'd want change, is take a good hard look at yourself and ask these questions. How are my inner thoughts and attitudes causing this situation in my life? And really take the time to contemplate this question and repeat it over and over in any area that you have. How are my inner thoughts and attitudes causing the situation? And I gave this example last month on the Monday, and I'll just give it again. It's a good one. There was a time in my life when I was very unhappy in my corporate job. I can say it was the worst year of my life, and that's truly the honest, that's an honest truth. And I used to go around when I was talking about what I was going through and said, I really hate my job. And when I got the self-awareness that that's never going to change my situation as long as I have those thoughts and attitudes. So when I got that awareness, I immediately said, I'm never going to say that again. And I just started saying every day over and over in my mind, on the way to work, in a tram, on a bus, in the train, traveling by car, wherever it was, over and over, I absolutely love my job. And I used to visualize absolutely loving my job. And I used to force myself to have a different thought about work and a different attitude. And the truth is, it didn't happen straight away, but a couple of months later, things all turned around for me. And I did absolutely love my job. And nothing had changed. Not the manager, not the furniture, not the clients, not my job, not my title. I changed. Okay, so the next question we can ask is, when we know we've got negative thoughts about it or things that we don't like and we keep saying that to ourselves, where did these thoughts come from? Try to understand, where did it first come from, and ask yourself, why do I think this way? Maybe it's a way that your parents think and talk. Maybe you were conditioned like that or grew up in a household with thoughts like that. Try to understand, where did this come from and why do you think this way? What is the root cause of these thoughts? And once you've given enough thought to that and you're very aware of your inner thoughts and how they are supporting a bad situation, this is the most powerful question ever. Am I being a cooperative component in the life I want to create? Am I being a cooperative component? In other words, if I said, I know I want this in my life, whatever it is, I want this. I know this is what I want. Let's just talk about weight loss. If you said, I know I want to reduce my weight by 5 kilos, and I said, well, what do you need to do? I can tell you, every single person who's in a situation knows what to do. They will tell you what they need to do. They'll tell you how to perhaps change eating behaviors, maybe exercise behaviors, self-sabotaging behaviors, whatever it may be. They know. So there's a big difference between what we know and what we do. And the gap between what we know and what we do is this question. Am I being a cooperative component in the life I want to create? And this helps to close the gap. Because when we look at ourselves this way and say, no, I'm not cooperating, I'm not being cooperative. My thoughts are not cooperative. Maybe it's my behaviors. It doesn't matter. It all starts with our thoughts. This helps in raising our self-awareness, which helps us take more responsibility to getting us where we want. Does this make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So that leads me on to the point number 2 is we need to take 100% full responsibility for everything. Whatever is happening in your life, take full responsibility. We can't blame anyone. So if we're having a bad day at work, and let's say our boss was really being a total idiot, even in a situation like that, I'm going to ask you to have an open mind and an open heart to consider and enter into the experiment of taking 100% responsibility or even that. Because no matter how badly the boss is behaving, we are still responsible for our own thoughts and our own attitude and feelings about the situation. I heard something the other day, or I read it in a book I was reading, about being in a relationship. And it says, like a marriage. If you want to be in a good marriage, you as the individual have to take 100% responsibility for the success of the relationship, not 50-50. So hear this, you have to take 100%, and the other person has to take 100% responsibility, because this stops us blaming the other person. If things are not working, it says, I am going to be the one to forgive, to love, to resolve, to reach out, to amend, to build the bridge. When we take 100% responsibility each, the relationship will work when there's 200% involved in creating a good marriage. So that's the next point. Take 100% responsibility for whatever is happening in your life. And last but not least, visualize. I talk about this all the time. We should all be doing this anyway every day. Visualize the world that you truly desire and focus your thoughts on this that you want. Now, to help with this about visualizing and negative thoughts, for those of you who haven't seen the presentation of 4 key skills to take charge of your life, it's next week or the end of this week on Sunday night. So some of you have heard it before, especially if you're a Silva method graduate or seen the presentation, other you may not. Irrespective, if you've heard it before, if you want a review, I encourage you to join the call, because we learn and integrate information through repetition. There's no way anyone can hear that presentation once and learn it all at once. So I encourage you to join the call on Sunday. On this call of the 4 key skills, the one is when we have negative thoughts, Ben mentioned it earlier, there's a technique in Silva where we say cancel, cancel. It actually stops a negative neural pathway in the brain. It actually works. It sounds very simple, but it works. And we reframe it with a positive affirmation. So we do examples of that in that presentation. Also about visualizing. How do we get clear on what we want? And how do we, over time, get rid of negative beliefs and negative attitudes that we have about ourselves or the outside world? Okay. So those are the 3 tips for what you can do to create positive outcomes. And I just got this off the internet. So you can get many of these. Just Google positive pledge and go into Google Images. I just grabbed this one off the internet and I love it. If you could take something similar, print it out, stick it somewhere where you see it every day, and actually make a commitment and a pledge to yourself. It says, I shall no longer allow negative thoughts or feelings to drain me of my energy. Instead, I shall focus on all the good that is in my life. I will think it, I will feel it, and speak it. And by doing so, I will send out vibes of positive energy into the world, and I shall be grateful for all the wonderful things it will attract into my life. So it sounds very simple. It is very simple. But believe me, being focused on positivity and reading something like this every day and being aware of negative thoughts and cancel and reframing with positive affirmations, over time, I'm trying to mute some lines here, it's a bit noisy. Over time, you become a person who thinks more positively and then feels more positively, so it's better for your health, and you get better attitudes and ingrained beliefs, and your life will get better and better over time. Okay, so that's the end of this lesson. I just want to always put this up. I put this slide in last month as well, and I'll probably put it in every month, just as a reminder. Everything is energy. Everything. Our thoughts are energy. Our physical bodies down to the cellular level are made up of molecules, made up of atoms. Atoms are nothing more than energy in a high state of vibration. So everything is energy, everything is connected. So as long as we know that, it says match the frequency of the reality that you want, and you cannot help but get that reality. It can be no other way. This is not philosophy, this is physics. So the reason I mention this is thoughts are a frequency, and they're a very powerful frequency. And every thought that you have is affecting your physiology, your body. If it's a positive one, it's affecting your body in a good way, dissolving stress chemicals, boosting your immune system, giving you energy, clear thinking, focus, optimism, drive, good ideas, innovative ideas, intuition. When we have negative thoughts, it drains our energy. It affects, it makes our body release stress chemicals, wears us down, makes us feel fatigued, eventually can result in illness if over time. So just as a reminder that everything is energy and everything affects everything. So your thoughts are more powerful than what you think. So that's why have positive thoughts, keep talking about health, abundance, success, wealth, and if you're having a good day, exude it, share it with other people and try to spread it and make their day. Okay, so what we generally do, it's now 1:45, is we do a 15-minute guided meditation. Before we get into this, does anybody have any questions at this point? Let me just unmute your lines.
Nope, no questions.
No questions. Okay, cool. Are you ready? Hey, Matt. Welcome. Can you hear me, Matt?
Yeah.
Well, I can see Matt on the call. I don't know if you can hear me. Okay. So in terms of the guided meditation, this is how it's going to run. What I'm going to suggest you do, so what we're going to do in this guided meditation, we're going to just reset the body, clear our energy, clear our mind for the month of August, and then we're going to set our intention. So when it says, what do you want to focus on for the month? It's going to be a question in the meditation. What I'd like you to do, everyone, is grab a pen and paper and actually sit comfortably with a pen and paper on your lap. So take a seat, take a piece of paper, put it on your lap, grab a pen, and just rest on your lap. And when you go into the meditation, you're going to close your eyes, and you're going to meditate like you do with your eyes closed. Somewhere towards the very end of the meditation, I'm going to ask you 3 questions about your intention, and whatever comes to mind, just open your eyes and write down an answer, and then close your eyes and go back into meditation. I'll give you some seconds to think about it. Whenever I ask the next question, you just do the same. So you record your answers. Are there any questions about that? No? Okay, remember, if you get answers, great. If you don't get answers, great. There's no right or there's no wrong. The purpose is to relax. The goal is to relax your body, relax your mind, and just let go. And you can train yourself to connect with your own inner wisdom, with your higher self or your true self. You have a lot of inner wisdom. And this is just to give you the awareness that if you do ask questions to yourself, you will get answers. If you don't get them today, it's okay. The more you practice, it will come over time. And if you do get answers, I want you to know that you can absolutely trust the answers that you get if you do it in a state of meditation, because your subconscious mind is less active. All right, so I'm going to switch my video off, and you can switch your cameras off if you like. You can do whatever you want, doesn't matter. I'm going to turn some music on. And I'm just going to mute your lines. Okay, so find a comfortable position. Close your eyes. Take a nice deep belly breath into the bottom half of your abdomen, not your chest, your belly. A deep belly breath stretching out into the corners of your belly, and exhale all out. Take another deep belly breath in And as you exhale, allow the tensions in your body to just release and float away. Take another deep breath, and as you exhale, begin to feel your body relaxing. Feel the tension leaving your scalp. Feel the tension leaving your forehead, your eyes, your cheeks. Relax your tongue and jaw. Relax your neck. Relax your shoulders. And your arms and hands. Take another deep belly breath in, and as you exhale, feel the tension leaving your spine all the way down your back. Feel the tension leaving your chest and your stomach and your pelvic area. Take another deep breath and allow the tension to leave your hips. And relax your thighs, your knees, your calves, your feet, all the way down to your toes. You are now experiencing a deep state of relaxation. As we continue, allow yourself to breathe deeply, slowly, and rhythmically. It is a wonderful feeling to be deeply relaxed. Now you're going to create in your mind an ideal place of relaxation. It can be real or imagined, somewhere you've been or somewhere you'd like to go. But allow it to be a place where you feel totally relaxed. Begin to experience this place right now. Take your time. Now that you have created your ideal place of relaxation, you're going to add a waterfall of white light in the scene. Place it wherever you choose. The waterfall is gentle, allowing you to stand under the cascading white light. The light is healing energy, a clearing energy. Your waterfall of light is now created. Walk over to the waterfall and stand under the white healing light. Allow the white light to swirl around you and encompass you within its glow. It is clearing the stress, the tension, and the clutter of the day, of the week, of the month past, of the year, of the lifetime. It's clearing all the stress, tension, and clutter from your entire energy field or from your atmosphere, or what we call your aura. As the light clears your energy, notice how much happier you look. Notice the smile on your face. Feel how the weights that you've been carrying are no longer a burden. Notice how your energy field is expanding out as you are radiating love. This waterfall of light is always available to you whenever you need it. All you need to do is close your eyes and imagine your ideal place of relaxation and immerse yourself in this healing white light. Now take a deep breath, relax deeper, and repeat these beneficial statements to yourself mentally. Every day, in every way, I am getting better, better, and better. Positive thoughts, suggestions, and images bring me benefits and advantages I desire. I will always maintain a perfectly healthy body, mind, and immune system. The following statements now are for your better health. Keep in mind that from now on, I will be speaking in your place. Every second, every minute, every hour, every day, every cell, tissue, organ, and system of my body is revitalized, restored, and renewed, resulting in a perfectly healthy body, mind, and immune system. I'm able to function in harmony physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually to promote maximum benefits. My awareness in using my mind allows me to do activities that promote increased health, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Now imagine the white light turns to green. You are now immersed in a glowing green light. This green light is unconditional love. It surrounds you. It encompasses you. This unconditional love flows through your entire being. It fills you with love. All those hurts you felt, all those pains you felt, the angry moments, allow this green light, this unconditional love, to heal those spaces now. Take your time. You are an amazing human being. You deserve love. You deserve joy. You deserve abundance. And you deserve peace. It is now time to step out of the waterfall. Step out of the waterfall of light. Your energy field is now clean and clear. You are centered and energized. You are able to think more clearly, focus more easily. You are in the flow of universal love and energy. Take a moment now to bask in this feeling of connectedness. You have now reset your body and mind for the month ahead. It is now time to set your intention for the month of August. Tune into your inner wisdom, your higher self, that part of you that, if you tuned in, guides you and intuitively knows what is best for you. Feel the alignment with your higher self. Feel the connection. And now ask yourself the following questions. What do I need to focus on for the month of August? Whatever comes to mind, write it down, then take a deep breath and close your eyes and re-enter your calm state. What do I need to focus on for the month of August? Now ask the question, what steps do I need to take me closer to what I want to be, do, or have? Whatever comes to mind, write it down, and then take a deep breath, and close your eyes and re-enter your calm state. What steps do I need to take me closer to what I want to be, do, or have? And the last question we're going to ask ourselves is, what do I need to let go of? What do I need to let go of? Whatever comes to mind, write it down. Now allow a deep breath in, and as you exhale, relax. Slowly bring your attention back to your body. Gently wiggle your fingers and toes. And when you are ready, count yourself out from 1 to 3. Open your eyes and have a big stretch. Blessings to you. When you're ready, you can put your cameras back where they were so we can see each other. How was that?
Very good.
Very relaxing.
Great. Did you enjoy that? Did anybody get any
Yes.
answers that they didn't expect?
Yes.
Me?
Do you want to share?
The first thing that I wrote was to have resilience.
Wow, awesome.
And then the thing was to improve on my fear of leaving this house without getting all anxious and overthinking everything.
That's fantastic.
Thank you.
Need to trust that what you got. Well done, Isabella. Thank you. Anyone else get any answers to the questions they were surprised at?
I'll go.
Okay.
For me, it's making career moves. So yeah, it's stepping out. I need to start looking for something else. And what's it? How do I do that? The steps I need to networking.
Wow.
And yes, I suppose the last one is, yeah, just overcome the negative thoughts about that. Yeah. So
Wow,
don't let
Ben.
things keep you back. So,
You can
yeah,
trust that.
yes.
Excellent. Anyone else want to share?
I'll go.
Yes?
Yeah, so yeah, I said that I need to focus more on my time management throughout my day. I guess on the weekday, knowing when to dedicate time where I'm thinking about work-related stress or time for myself, really, which I think I'm not getting much of. Always stressing out on things that I have to do the next day or, yeah, things along those lines. So I think really focusing on that and knowing when to switch off is something that I think I need to focus on.
Excellent. Thanks, Sandra. Just if you're not meditating daily, I would recommend you start meditating daily.
Yeah.
If you want any guided meditation similar to the one we did, it's just a long relax. It doesn't have any other work to do. It's just to relax. You can get one off my website.
Yeah.
you can try that. It's very, very healthy. And I would recommend at least once a week, everyone to do the long relax. It takes about half an hour,
Yeah.
but it's equivalent to about 4 hours of good, healthy sleep for the body, the mind, the immune system. So really very good. And you train yourself to relax. It becomes more of who you are. Anyone else want to share? No? Going, gone. 3 seconds, and then we're going to move on. Okay. All right, so that's it for tonight. Just to tell you what's coming up. So next Monday, the subject's going to be self-sabotage, and that's on the 4th of September. That's Monday. We'll be talking, that'll be the topic. And just in terms of next events, as I said, the 4 key skills to take charge of your life is this coming Sunday. It's earlier than 8 o'clock. It's 7:30 to 9, just to get people free earlier. And I'll also try to end earlier as well. So maybe it'll try to get it done in an hour, hour and 10. And the 4 key skills are what you see on the screen there: learning how to stay calm and focused, to not stress out even when we're under pressure, to get clear on our goals in our life and meaningful ones and know how to achieve them. We discuss overcoming limiting beliefs and some strategies to do that. And then lastly, how to make smarter decisions and recognize the right opportunities for us. And that's about intuition and creativity. So that's Sunday. And then for the other people, this content of the 4 key skills does come from my full 4-day program called the Silva Method, Life Systems and Intuition. And the full training is in September on those dates, 1 weekend, and then a free one in the middle, and then another weekend. And if you want to know more, just send me a message or website that's there below, and you can read about it. So that's really it for tonight. Thank you very much, everybody. Just want to say good night. Bless you all. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you've set a good intention and cleared your energy and you feel good about the next month ahead. And just to reinforce whatever answers you got in the meditation, trust them. They're right for you.
Thanks, Janine.
Brilliant. Thank you, Janine.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Janine.
Janine.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Namaste.
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 100%.
Namaste in that.
So this Sunday, all right?
Yeah, this Sunday.